Hey everybody, welcome to Super Bowl Sunday at JT's. Yeah, there's no party here. Thanks for watching this and not that. It ain't the Lions in the Super Bowl this year. So guys, I got a few things on the agenda today. I thought I gotta get the auger off that combine. I got the auger tube in my barn and I'm not in a super rush to get that done. I ain't combining anything tomorrow, but if I can get the auger tube off, that's one less thing. Got my loader tractor out. And actually, I kind of wanted to get the loader tractor in the barn to put the exhaust parts on that. Don't mind this. Went for a walk yesterday and found this handy sticker for the post office. So hoping when the mailman comes by one day to drop a package off, I can just say, hey, is that yours? But never mind that now. That's besides the point. But I got to get exhaust manifold gaskets on my little tractor. I got to get an auger on my combine. Those things kind of are going to all work into one here. So I got to get that auger off that combine right now. That shouldn't take long. Friends, there is not much to getting this apart. I got to pull. Ooh, that's a long drop. I got to pull that pin. I got to pull that nut and drive the big swivel pin out of there. I got to pull that pin, and then I'll have to get the loader tractor out, hook it onto this auger, and then I can pull that one on top, because that'll be holding it at that time, and voila. And then we'll just have a auger with a lot of dents in it, just free falling and waiting to come out and get replaced. If you were curious, that is an automotive pitman arm puller I put on the bottom of that little pitman arm to get that out of my way. Sometimes it doesn't hurt to have some car tools to work on your combine. Of course, lost the keyway out of there. I heard it go flying. I'm sure you all saw it and said, "Oh, there goes your keyway." So yeah, that's not. I'll never find that. Bingo. See if I can get this old bugger started to pull it out here and get that off now. That wasn't so bad. Easy peasy. I'm gonna let that run for a little while. I hate starting it and shutting it off all the time, but sometimes it's just necessary to do that. There, guys, now I got my work cut out for me. All I got to do is pull all the guts out of this one, put them in this one, you know, maybe give it a little paint because that's what I do. Probably get a new bearing. I think that one's about had it. Just slap that back on the combine and voila, everything's going to be just perfect. Then all I got left to do is get that transmission up in there, and then for now, I'll be out of stuff that's broken on that machine. Well, there, had this thing running for about 15 minutes now. Probably warmed up a little bit, at least better than it was just to shut it off. Gotta get all my goodies put in a safe place so I don't lose them, because you know that happens to a guy like me. There. Shut that down and on to the next thing. Well, there, that's out of the way. Notice I haven't put my loader tractor away yet. I got another little thing planned here. So guys, let's talk about Massey Kardashian here. I kind of wanted to share with you what my plans were for this thing. So, as most of you probably know or watched the video on Friday, yes, she's a runner. Let's talk about a few things here. Someone was concerned about this. That's hydraulic oil dripping down. It's not diesel, so no worries. It isn't leaking any fuel anywhere. Just, that's all got to come off, so don't worry about that too much. Some guys were asking about this dumbbell shaft in here, and if I am going to build another one for it, like I have for my 1805. The answer to that is yes. Now here's the shaft in my 1805. I'm probably going to build something almost identical to this. This has worked great for the last 3 years. It's nice to be able to just zap those 4 bolts out. You can move the shaft in and out a couple of inches, pops in and out of there real easy. If you go back about, I don't know, last year's videos, and I was putting oil cooler lines underneath the bell housing there, it took me like 8 minutes to pull that shaft out of there, and I know you can't do that the way that it says. The only thing I'm going to do differently on this shaft than I did on that shaft is I'm going to go with bigger material. Now, with that being said, I made that one out of 1410 Spicer parts, and they've held up beautifully with the exception of one China drive shaft I put in there, or one, the spline part. That broke on me once. I put this American-built Spicer welded, forged, whatever unit in it. Never give me a lick of trouble. I've had that tractor bogged down with my chisel plow. I've worked a lot of hard acres with it. That shaft is held up like a rock star. So yes, I'm going to do the same thing with this one. A lot of you have also expressed concern about not having the bushings in there like they did from the factory. 6 to 1, half a dozen the other guys. That shaft has been in there for 3 years. It's working fine. A fella had piped up on one of those videos a while back here, who has a shaft very similar to that, is in his 1805, and he said it's been in there for 30 years with no trouble. So yeah, would the bushings be better in there? Would it be a little smoother? Maybe, but I don't know. I know that they're in there for a reason, but I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I think it's going to work just fine. But like I said before, I'm going to, rather than building this one with 1410 series parts, I'm going to be building it with 1550 series parts. So the shaft itself will be from 1.5 inches to 1 3/4 inches. Pretty stout stuff. I got a machine shop in town here that's going to help me build a piece for the transmission side. I'm going to end up drilling the flywheel plate to fit a different flange, so I'll take you along for that ride when we go to build that thing. So promise you, it's all going to work out really well. As far as the stuff I need to get going right away on this thing, guys, well, I mentioned that it doesn't steer. So if you look right about here where those 2 holes are, and that metal tube coming out, so what goes there is the steering hydraulic divider valve. Kind of a handy little thing, cuts the power down going in and out of the gearbox behind there, the orbital motor. I've got here two hoses. I've got the pressure hose and the return hose that run off the power steering pump. The pressure hose goes in one port of that. It has one port that goes into the power steering box. It has one port for overflow, and it has one port to regulate the pressure. The regulation pressure and the overflow port flow into each other, and they flow back into whichever one of these is the return hose. So the original one for this tractor, she's gone. She's gone like a fart in the wind. But I found some aftermarket stuff that I think will work, so I'm going to get kind of creative with that, get some opinions from some of the people that sell those things and see if I can make that work. I don't think plumbing will be an issue, but big thing is I can't do much with Massey Kardashian here until I can turn it. That's going to be my first obstacle. Once that's done, I'll start on the other side there where the auxiliary hydraulic pump is just disconnected. Who knows why? The pump spins. I mean, I don't have any idea. And Mike that I bought this tractor from, he basically took it from the original owner to his house and he's never touched it. So neither of us know a whole lot about it except for what we've been told. So once I get all those problems figured out, then I'm going to start on the cosmetic stuff. Aside from a little surface rust here, which is about 1/100th of the surface rust my 1105 had on it, I'm going to actually take the time. When I painted Turd Ferguson, when I painted my Steiger, I basically just roughed everything up, epoxied it, and then shot it with paint. This one's going to get a little bit more attention than that. I'm going to end up pulling the tires all off. I got to get a couple new ones anyway, which they'll be making an appearance here very soon. So that way I can get all the stuff in between there. I'm going to end up blasting this, basically all the sheet metal on this. I call it sheet metal, but it's not sheet metal. It's more like plate metal. So let's say I'm going to end up blasting all the plate metal down with that hydro blaster that I bought. Aside from what's right there, this tractor is absolutely clean. It's not greasy at all, but it's been sitting outside in the rain for 20 years, so I would expect it to be fairly clean. I got two new tires coming for it. These front ones are the worst. The back ones, well, they're not great. This one has some cracks. That one has no cracks. But these front tires here, not only are they wore down more, but, I mean, you can just about stick your fingers in them cracks, so they are short for this planet. Also, I had a guy leave me a comment here on the bracket that someone has built for this, what I'm guessing was a silage blade on this thing at one point in time in its life. So here's I hope you're watching, fella, because here's what the originals did for that. They've got it bolted here, no bolts in the back. Looks like it was basically just a bunch of U-channel and less than good welds. Get me a new muffler on here because that one has absolutely had it. Nothing good left there. But other than that, guys, when all that's said and done, this tractor should be in pretty good shape to do some work. I'd like to, if I can get it steering if I can get the hydraulics working, I will absolutely be running it on a disc this spring. I've got a field I ran a chisel plow through with the green bastard. You probably watched that video. There are some parts of that field where I turned hunks of sod that were the size of tree stumps. I feel like this big fat tire tractor is going to help me just kind of smooth right over all that. So, I'd like to have it going in the next couple months, at least get that part done. Also, guys, one more thing while I got your attention. You ever see a buck rub like that? Yeah. I had my camera out here. I was trying to catch that son of a gun because usually the bucks will run on the little trees they can push over, but instead they took my love seat here and tried to rub it off of there. So guys, with that being said, I mean, we're all farming and deer hunting and stuff. That stuff all kind of goes together. With that being said, I got a buddy that started his own YouTube channel. He's an avid hunter, and I mean, guys, this guy is taking hunting to the next level. Him and his wife go on hunting trips all over the world. He's done some amazing things. Yeah, like I said, been a long time, been an elementary school friend of mine for many, many years. So if you are bored with watching tractors one day and you want to check out some of his stuff, go check out Hunt Fit 365. He, like I said, he's just starting out, so there's not a ton of content on there yet, but there's a couple of good mule deer hunts that he's got. So, you know, give a guy a look, give him a subscribe if that's something you're into. And you know, guys, the other thing, this old 1800, there can't be, I mean, they didn't make a ton of these to begin with. I think they, what, 3,000-4,000? I don't know. I didn't even look, but there can't be but a handful of these things left in the world. So if I paint this one up real nice, maybe I'll have the nicest 1800 Massey in the world. And that would be pretty cool. Yeah. I'll take that. But also, guys, you know, maybe I'll wait a few minutes before I order anything. If you know of anybody who has an 1800 or a 1500 or 1805, whatever, I think the 1805 ones are a little bit different, but I don't see why I couldn't make it work in this one. So if you know anybody who's got one of these sitting in the back 40 that's got maybe a flow divider on it, and you don't mind taking a hacksaw and cutting all the hydraulic lines off and taking 2 bolts out, I would shoot me an email, jtsbarnandgrill@gmail.com. I would probably be happy to buy that from you. And there's some new tires. Look at those. Those are about 1,000,000% better than what's on there already. Those will do just fine. What do you say, Mike? Well, guys, I've got everything loaded and unloaded. This is Mike. He's the one that picked up the green bastard from me and dropped off Massey Kardashian with them wide hips. Got the last dual on. He was nice enough to give me a couple tires. Mike, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
Bro.
You got a really awesome 1150 that I want to come over when you get that injection pump put back on. We'll start on that. So anybody who loves Massey 1150s, which I know you all do, well, tune in for that video. Hopefully, when you want to work on that. Well, you let me know when you get that pump on there, and we'll go and we'll get that tractor fired up, because 1150s are just cool. That's all there is to it. So. Well, guys, that's going to do it for us today. We got our work cut out for us. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.